Yeah,
And we're back.
and we're here. You can see all the Luffy hat. That's how I can tell you if your camera's too high or low. Is how much of the Luffy hat I can see on the T-Rex.
We've got we've got our special measurement system, like 2 or 3 Luffy hats.
Americans will literally do anything except use the metric system.
Yeah, seriously. No,
Except a foot long
that's
at
2
Subway
hats.
is not actually a foot long. It's about 8 to 10 inches.
But we'd rather use actual foot long sandwiches as a measuring system than just use the metric system.
How many cat flings can we use?
So what are we talking about this week, guys?
We're talking about stunts today, and we have some special current events to talk about as well.
That's right, some super special current events, in the nerdosphere, as it were. So,
what were we saying, Matt? Did you say something? Yeah.
You don't really have stunt hobbyists, though.
I actually have. Yeah. There is like boot camps and stuff like that.
I guess you could.
Parkour. It's where you dress in all leather, get a mohawk, and then you do parkour.
It's like
that should be one of our skits. Punkcore.
Punkcore. You get over an object, but on the other side of the object is a mosh pit every single time.
You get over the authorities.
So so this very, very close subject. Our brother-in-law just sent me a video that he found of it's labeled parkour MMA, and so it's like it takes place in like a big padded obstacle course thing with like big old boxes and ledges and things that they can jump on, and they come out and they're in the headgear and the MMA thing, and the parkour is in the first half second. They all jump onto a box or obstacle, and then they just start beating the brakes off each other, and it is difficult to watch after that because they are just going at it.
Isn't that just King of the Hill but more bloody?
Exactly. So it'd be one thing if there's 1 or 2 of them, but there's like 6 of these guys just going at it, and yeah. So like you want to look at some stunts, like viewer beware, like. It must be in Russia. That's the only place that they would allow that kind of sport to go on.
It's probably the only legal in Russia and Texas.
And Texas. And the great state of Texas. So
it's an inside joke. It's like this. It's just like there's a secret coalition within Area 91, and that is us.
Yeah, basically. Matt, when you're brothers, you basically just grow up knowing each other's references, and you can just do it like without even talking to each other.
So so if anybody doesn't know, and even Matt, Jimmy and I grew up without the internet or cable, so we had to only survive with like DVDs, and we got like a Three Stooges box set from Sam's Club way back in like the early 2000s.
Yep.
And that was one of their bits that they were from Texas.
Yeah. And I don't care what anyone says. That shit's still funny.
Yeah.
It still tracks today. So, all right. So we're talking about stunts, the stunt industry. I actually have a lot of background knowledge on this because this is one of the things I nerd out about. I'm very into like stunts and parkour and martial arts and the fight choreography. I've got Jimmy's Dojo. That's my segment. That's my jam. I've got one lined up for this very episode, in fact. So
it's been a while since we've entered the dojo before.
I think I did that we did it last time, didn't we?
No.
Okay, anyway. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's right.
But then we had the break, and then we had the world's longest D&D session.
Jeez. We were Okay.
Oh, yeah. We had to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I,
Well, that's perfect for like a giant barbarian with like a high pitched voice.
yeah, that's hilarious. In fact,
Saskatchewan.
I thought Sketchatoon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it sounded fine to me. Well, tell you what, we'll get you a mixer on your end, and you can crank up that bass so you got a nice deep Michael Clark
Yeah.
Duncan voice going. So, geez. Holy crap! I just realized this beer I'm drinking is 11% ABV. Jesus.
You're gonna be dead.
Like, yeah. So, all right, that's all right. No one, most people are like, hey, that's just how he sounds. All right, so let's jump into the subject at hand. So let's go first of all the who, what, where, when, why.
Yeah.
What is stunt work? It is basically anything that's too dangerous for the normal actors to do. Uh, yeah. So things like doing falls or gymnastics, fight scenes, sword work, horse riding,
Even
wire
sometimes
work.
running as well.
Running, even just something like running, car work, stuff with cars,
Yeah.
stuff with motorcycles, that kind of stuff. It goes across the board. I like maybe like the prop gun work, but that's
Sometimes it depends.
so they never
Yeah.
so they almost never have actual live like rounds on set. And if they do, they're highly regulated. So
Yeah.
that's more like an armorer or a the props department basically. They're in charge of that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I've brand so I've got a full play-by-play of how this went down.
It's like the Warren Commission for the Crow.
I know. All right. So
Yeah.
normally we're really funny on this podcast, but this is going to get really deep. So this is first of all, okay, it was Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. And the Crow was going to be, it was kind of poised to be like his breakout role. He was like kind of like Paul Walker. He was like just about to be like the next Hollywood it man, um, it guy. And so it was kind of an indie movie, lower budget, and they were cutting corners. And so basically what happened is they ended up with live ammunition on the set, and so they wanted, yeah. So what happened was when you're working with prop guns, there's two types of guns. There's blanks,
Mhm.
which they fire, but there's no bullet, and there's dummy rounds, which have the bullet, so for close-ups, but they don't fire. So to make a so well well that's for like if you have a close-up of a revolver, so you can see the bullets inside the chamber. Yeah, yeah. That's why no one asked you to direct The Crow.
Yeah, when they
Also, you
they
were
came
like,
to us and asked us, "Hey, who would be really good at directing The Crow?" And I said, "Not Matt Schoonover. There's no way."
of course, you were probably like what, one at the time this shit went down. So what happened was to like save some time and money, they instead of getting a dummy round, they just took one of the real bullets and they took the fire like the powder out of it basically, right?
Mhm.
But they didn't take, but on the bullet, I need a diagram. So you got the so here's the lead bullet part, here's the casing. On the back of a bullet, there's a little tiny charge that the firing pin hits and causes the rest of it to
Yeah.
exactly. And they didn't take that part out. So when the dummy round fired, it fired a little bit and got the lead part caught in the barrel of the gun.
That poor actor that
Exactly.
that.
And so when they put a blank in there, that was able to propel the bullet that was stuck in there enough to fire into Brandon Lee, and he was
Yeah.
he was rushed to the hospital. Yeah, and he died. Oh, well,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what happened after that was, well, first of all, there were rules in place, but they kind of disregarded them. So what that did was people, first of all, there was much more stringent rules put in place for the regarding the use and handling of firearms on sets. Like
Yeah.
like no, yeah. So
Always safety first.
it was this kind of plays into the theme of just stunts and this is like sort of a stunt adjacent accident, but it plays into the theme that we see sometimes, is that stunt workers are generally the people who have to do all of the dangerous shit, and they're like kind of putting their lives on the line sometimes.
Yeah.
And without these no one should have to die just for making entertainment. So Brandon Lee is one of those tragic cases. Cheddar
Says that do they still use blanks, or did they mostly rely on animated effects? I actually have the answer to this. Do you want to do it? Yeah, you do talk too much with your sexy baby voice. So they actually do still use blanks a lot. But as we see, if you watch the special effects of any movie, they do have, like, even for explosions, they still do have compressed air that they shoot out to show where the special effects should be. So if they use blanks, they also use special effects as well to enhance what it looks like.
Right. But, like generally speaking, if you have actors, if it's a live action movie, you need actors there. You need them handling the props and stuff, and firing blanks, gives the gun the flash and everything and the smoke that, and you don't need those extra special effects. Exactly. Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, blanks will have a bit more. Will have a kickback, but they're just not going to be as powerful, because if you just have like a regular bullet without the actual lead inside, it's going to damage the gun if you fire it. So blanks are made specifically to shoot out air. Like Jimmy said on the Crow, the blank shot out the air and compressed air in it. Well, it's not compressed air, but it's a mini explosion to project forward, to use smoke and everything like that
Right.
for the gun. So it's not as powerful as a regular shell, but it still will give a nice effect.
Yeah. So there. Yeah. So there is kind of a question nowadays, like with all the advances in computer effects, people were starting to wonder, hey, do they still need stunt people? And the answer is mixed. So first of all, they still need stunt people. You still got actors. Not only I think do you need them for certain scenes, but I think that also, like, computer CG only goes so far. Like, there's something about watching an actual person like just doing things that really registers more with the viewer, I think.
Yeah, actually, that goes into. You remember the first Spider-Man movie where he's swinging through the city and Mary Jane's holding on to him and she's got the Oriental dress on?
Yeah.
That's not a real person she's holding on to. That's a dummy.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's things like that. Like people do register when there's not a real human. Maybe not in that instance, because it took me forever to realize that.
Yeah. Cheddar asks, interesting how many risks actors take, especially stunt actors take, just to provide a more quote unquote realistic experience. That's true. So there is a bit of a question going on, because as movies get more and more amazing and intense, so due to the stunts that have to keep up with them. So you get like, so what a movie that's coming out next year, Fast and Furious 9. Holy shit, there's 9 of those movies. So like so that movie franchise started off with, they were like street racing in LA.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm gonna drive this tank through 2 buildings and out the other side to save America or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I just want to go on a tangent real quick. I watched one of those. It was the one, I'm gonna spoil the shit out of this one. It's where the main guy has to like redo his entire car in memory of his ex-girlfriend who died being killed by this Mexican cartel guy.
Okay.
And then he blows up this car that he has such an emotional attachment to, and turns out his girlfriend is not even dead. So the entire movie doesn't matter.
This movie could have been an email.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so so this is how I actually got into like being interested in stunt work. I'm not a stunt person. I'm just an enthusiast who follows the industry a lot. Just so you guys are aware. Uh, do you guys remember back in like high school, like once a year they'd take us aside and be like, "Okay, you're 14. Figure out what you want to do the rest of your life."
I don't remember that because I don't think I've ever had an answer.
Uh,
Still
well,
don't have an answer.
they have like career days, and I'm like, what do I like? Well, I like sword fights, and I like parkour, and I like kung fu movies. And I was like, and then I watched the DVD extras for Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead
Mhm.
Man's Chest, one of the best action and sword fight movies ever put to screen, and it was like showing the stunt team, and they're like, doing the fight choreography and stuff. I was like, wait, you're telling me I could possibly make a career out of like pirate sword fighting? And so I looked. So this is how like I started getting into it. And
Yeah.
to answer your question, to like kind of go off your theme of like what it takes to be a stunt person, uh, it turns out there's like no stunt degree you can get. Yeah, it's kind of like it's very much like acting where
Yeah.
like the more training you have the better, but there is no like degree or
Mhm.
qualifications. You basically there's certain things you have to be qualified for, like
Mhm.
say scuba diving or horsemanship, things like that.
Mhm.
But generally, if you have the skills and you can network the hell out of yourself, you have a chance of being a successful stunt worker in
Right.
Hollywood, at least.
The thing I actually kind of want to touch on is something that Matt brought up. Because Tom Cruise in his last movie, Mission Impossible Fallout, because the whole, like you guys said, with CGI work and things like that, we some stunts aren't really necessary, and essentially what Tom Cruise is, his whole billing is that he'll do his own stunts, and he'll do these increasingly dangerous stunts.
Yeah,
And in Mission Impossible Fallout, he injured himself with that jump that's actually in the movie. He
yeah,
breaks his ankle. And then, of course, he has that whole helicopter fall as well. So my thing is like for Tom Cruise, for him to stay relevant, he's got to do more and more dangerous stunts. And for me, I'm like, when is this gonna get this poor guy killed?
yeah. That's the thing.
You know?
Jackie Chan has taken a step back from stunt work in the recent years because
Yeah.
of that. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But so even people like Tom Cruise who do their own stunt work, they will do their own stunt work, but generally speaking, even the
Mhm.
guys that do their own stunt work, they will stand in a more highly trained professional, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
for the really dangerous stuff.
Like Arya Starks had a stunt double for her fight with Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah,
So there was her stunt double, but it wasn't for like something dangerous. It was for the swordsmanship, and
which is
which is
still
still
quite
really cool.
it's still quite it's that can still be quite dangerous.
Yeah,
And
not as dangerous as jumping off a building.
yeah,
You know.
true. Yeah, and that's interesting because I didn't realize it until I saw it behind the scenes that they CGI'd Arya. Like they do that a lot, but like there's like a close up shot where you can see Arya's face and they CGI'd her face on
Mhm.
there, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so so yeah, CG is kind of intertwining with stunt work a lot more. So
which does makes things like safer.
yeah, uh, so do you guys
Flips
have?
notes. Yeah. Mm. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Jet's got an interesting comeback for that.
So yeah, they are underrated, but the point is, if you don't notice stuntmen and stunt women, that's kind of the point. That means they did their jobs really well. Uh, actually one of my favorite some of my favorite stunts are something that you've seen probably every single year. It's the stunt doubles for Harry and Marv from Home Alone.
Yep.
They put in their time and they put in their hearts. It was, you know,
And that kind of like at that time, that kind of not revolutionized, but really kind of that like they were talking about making movies after that, and like everyone wanted the Home Alone look for their stunts after that.
Yeah, it's but the thing is, like, when you watch that movie, you're not like, oh, there's a stunt double. There's no, you're the point of the stunt double is like that's Harry and Marv, falling, and for them to not break that and to be able to just seemingly go from actor to stunt person is the point of their artwork. And I was thinking about this during this whole thing. Yeah, they don't get a lot of the screen time and accolades as they should, but they have probably some of the most exciting and fun jobs in any field.
Yeah.
I mean, they get to be on screen and they get to do the dangerous stuff, which is exciting.
Yeah. So as far as recognition, yes, it's a travesty that there's not an Oscar for Stuntworks. They've been at Stuntworks, and
Yeah.
they've been crusading for years, basically, to try to get that category into the Oscars. It's never come to any fruition.
Yeah.
There have been a few stunt people that have gotten lifetime achievement awards, but what the stunt like the stunt awards are called I got it written down here in my notes somewhere. Oh yeah, it's called the Taurus World Stunt Awards, and they happen every year. So check those guys out. And yeah, but it's true that so actors are generally the ones that like are the big names and drawing the tickets for the movies. But yes, you can't have an action movie or a sword fight movie without stunt people.
And Cheddar brings up his favorite stunt work is the one in Spaceballs where they accidentally captured the stunt doubles. And I don't quote me on this, but I believe that those were the actual stunt doubles.
You idiots!
These aren't them. They're the stunt doubles. Yeah.
This is meta.
Yeah. I think Mel Brooks is one of the only really good fourth wall breaking directors that I've seen. Like Deadpool is fine, but like just like suddenly have Kevin Smith, but like suddenly go from a lightsaber fight to like killing the camera operator. It's just like so seamless.
Yeah.
And then in the Blazing Saddles, the fight breaks onto the Hollywood lots.
Oh god.
Goes to see the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of stunt workers, that horse that Mongo punches deserved an Academy Award.
Yeah. Yeah. But Jay does have a point. There are stunt animals. For like Lassie had 3 stunt doubles.
Yep. There's Trigger, the horse from Paleface, Son of Paleface Moro.
Yeah.
What?
What? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those. Yeah, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even watch Like I can't even think about watching Jackass without getting nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those guys are technically stuntmen because they're doing their own stuff and they're like taking the hits,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's like the extreme goofball form of stunt work.
But that reminds me of Hot Rod a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And like he's trying to be like a professional stuntman, which is like less of like on screen stuff, but
Yeah.
That's also a really good movie
That-
for stunt work, especially the hill scene.
Yeah, where he just spends 5 minutes falling down a hill for no reason.
I need to go to my happy place.
Enter
Yeah.
the fist.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get okay. So why don't we go around and we'll do a quick round table. What's your favorite stunt, like just off the top of your head that you've seen?
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The Duel Fates is baller shot caller, and
Yeah, it's like testosterone put in a can, and then the can was shot into space, and it blew up in the sun
are you
on
not?
a hallway.
Star Wars is a refined art. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, sorry to bring some class. I was trying to bring some class in here.
Yeah. Sorry. Jared, what's your favorite stunt that you can
Actually,
think
it's
of?
a two-way tie. But it is from the same movie. Mission Impossible Fallout. I hate that movie because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Apparently, I watched it from beginning to end, though.
Yeah, I did twice. It's the first one is the bathroom fight scene. Henry Cavill pumps up his arms. Henry Cavill is just amazing in anything. I love that guy.
Hit the where he's got the mustache that he had to exit the CG
Yeah.
out for Superman. Yeah.
Yeah. And that whole fight scene is amazing. It's really, really good. And then the second one is going to be the motorcycle chase that Tom Cruise does.
Mhm.
I think it is an amazing piece of cinematography first and foremost. And Tom Cruise is on that bike the entire time.
Yeah. He's actually quite a good motorcyclist.
I do like the plane scene, but I just feel like the motorcycle scene is just better shot.
Yeah, that the plane scene just seems like almost gratuitous because they're like, okay, this is more. It's less of an interesting stunt and more of just like this is the most dangerous thing we can make Tom Cruise do.
Yeah, the whole point of the bike scene is that it's not as grandiose, but it is concise. It tells it's a whole story within those scenes, and I think it's just edited and cut perfectly together.
What kind of bike does he ride in that one?
It's some kind of dirt bike. I don't think it was an actual motorcycle. I don't believe.
I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna guess it's a freaking
Motorcycles right there. Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna guess it's a Triumph because that's a pretty Mission Impossible.
It's a scrambler.
It's a
BMW.
BMW R9T Scrambler. So yeah, BMW.
That's a nifty looking bike.
Yeah, I like scramblers. My legs are too long to ride one, but I like scramblers looks. So
What's your favorite stunt though?
okay, my favorite stunt definitely hands down has to be there's no name for it. It's the yo-yo stunt from Who Am I? Jackie Chan's movie. So I don't know if okay. All right.
Matt and I just look into the distance.
It's okay. I'll describe it to you. I'll describe it to you. So Jackie Chan's running from the bad guys as he does. He gets to the top of a building. There's no ladder, no walkway, and the bad guys are coming. So he sees a rope. So he grabs the rope, throws it around a bucket a bunch of times, then jumps in between it and ties it around his waist, and he jumps over the balcony and basically yo-yos all the way down to the bot, like 40 feet down to the ground.
Jesus. The G-forces alone on that would break somebody.
So it's not edited the greatest because like the actual like yo-yos part of it was not done by Jackie Chan. It was done by a guy called Andy Chang because Jackie Chan had hurt his back, and if he had done it, he would have like broken his back. Yeah. So, but like that scene lives in my head rent free, and I'm like, all right, if I'm ever trapped at the top of a building, that's how I get down. Yeah. So that's definitely one of my favorites. It is my favorite. Okay, Cheddar says, honestly, anything Jackie Chan does is always so entertaining and impressive. A huge part of his stunts, especially with him fighting groups of people, is just super well performed, but the choreography is nuts. That's true, yes.
Yeah, especially I think his most famous one is the ladder fight where he just takes a ladder and just
like
starts
which one? Like there's so many ladders in Jackie Chan's filmography.
Then of course there was the in the movie A Police Story. He is most dangerous. He got super hurt with that one. So this have you seen that, Matthew? You've probably seen the scene. It's pretty famous. So it's like he slides on this pole in a mall and he goes through these lights and all these broken glass and
Yeah,
stuff.
he falls through the fluorescent light bulbs, right?
Yes. So like I don't know why they didn't like practice this so much before, because he got like third-degree burns and he like dislocated his pelvis. It was like really bad that he got injured on this, which kind of brings up to the fact like for these like really dangerous stunts like that, don't they do like some kind of dry run or make absolutely sure like their actors aren't going to get dead?
So yeah, so that brings us back to the theme of The Crow, where
the theme
of The Crow, where sometimes in movies they are like, okay, we only have time and or money and or resources to get this one shot.
Yeah.
So they'll cut corners and do shit like that. And I'm not saying that Hong Kong is like bad, but like generally speaking, from my research I've done, the Hong Kong action, stunt people, filmmaking is a little bit less litigious than Hollywood standards. So there's less red tape, and they're able to like kind of like jerry rig stuff a lot more, generally speaking. And I wouldn't say that they disregard people, but it's probably a lot easier for them to be like, okay, we're gonna read this together. We've never done this before. Jackie, go. Like where's yeah, whereas in America, Tom Cruise's agent would be like, "Are you kidding me? No." Like throw a crash test dummy first, man. Like
it's like in the scene of The Grinch with the crash test dummy. Airbags a little slow.
That's what. That might have been a subtle nod to the stunt guys. Yes, forever ago.
That's one of those movies that like it was so bad that when you saw them once as a kid, you'll never see them again, because I've never been able to find it.
Look up Matthew McConaughey movie Sahara ?
Sahara ? And then the Google search is no, you don't want to.
Are you sure? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, on first name basis is with Matthew McConaughey.
Not even first name basis, first nickname basis.
Matt.
Hey, Matty.
The Order of Matt. Instead of robes, they wear like doormats all over them. The Matt. The Matt has spoken. They worship the Matthew.
You have broken the rules of Matt. Take him to the Mat of Doom.
No! Not the Mat of Doom. Still part of the Treasury Committee, though. You got to get on lately.
All right. Right. Let's see here. What else do we want to talk about stunt-wise, though? Would you like to hear my Jimmy's Dojo?
Yes. Bong.
Why bong. Was it? Yeah, we got to get one of those like the sound effect boards where we press the button in. Yeah. So.
Welcome to Area 31.
Did you see Cheddar's comment? The Order of Mats, consider your microphone picked up. Picked up.
I like how we actually have a fan who knows like our idiosyncrasies. I think this is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheddar, do not encourage him. We've been training him for weeks. That's a no. You're being a bad Matt. Down your fucking bike.
All right. Jimmy's Dojo. So this is a fight scene that I think so there's two fight scenes that I consider the best as far as stunt work goes. The first one would be the Batman versus Superman warehouse fight, which I've already talked about.
Oh, love that.
The second is Donnie Yen versus Colin Chow in Flashpoint from 2007. Yeah, it's a Hong Kong movie. So basically, Donnie Yen was a stunt choreographer. Donnie Yen, who plays Chira Imwe in Rogue One, the blind guy. Yeah,
love that movie.
Yeah, and Ip Man. So Donnie Yen was the choreography director on this one. And he won an award for it. So what he was trying to do with these slew of movies was bring MMA and like Hong Kong kung fu movies together. And so in the final fight scene, set it up. He's chasing Colin Chow's character, and they meet up in like this weird like open air concrete house that's been abandoned or something. Don't ask. I don't know what it is, but they start going at it, and it's MMA, jiu-jitsu. They like do like falls on concretes and on bars. You see like Donnie Yen like hit his head on a metal bar. Obviously this is all stunt work, but every part of this fight scene feels real and it feels like it hurts. Like, there's this, they break apart for a second. They're getting all geared up, and Donnie Yen's nose starts bleeding, and it just looks like it hurts.
Yeah.
And they kick through concrete blocks and stuff, and you see the dust flying, and you see the dust on their knuckles and their faces.
Do you ever think these like construction workers come back and just like see all their shit?
Like what?
There's just like dead bodies. Like whoa.
Yeah. What's it like to live in an action movie?
Their construction workers are always having to build shit, clean up dead bodies, and there are just a ton of like abandoned buildings with like open concepts. Nobody has like no one's invented walls.
Yeah.
Finishes the building, gets blown up.
No, beans.
Well, I guess they never have to worry about getting fired.
Yeah. They always have work because everything keeps getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So the punches and kicks are quick and snappy. The camera work is amazing. There's like real energy and emotion in this fight. And the stunts are top notch. So I'm giving this one 10 swords out of 10.
Awesome. I think that touches on something too, like the choreography between the actual like what?
Yeah. What?
you just...
Oh, okay.
That was like really delayed too. That was like almost a full minute after you said it. And, go,
and then we're like, "What is it?" And you're like,
"Yeah, like maybe a second."
Yeah, well, we've got the full force of the internet working for us here, Matt. Maybe let's keep on it here. Jared, you were about to say something.
Yeah, before I was rudely interrupted by but I would say it's the stunt work is the best when it's very highly choreographed between the actual actor and the stunt worker themselves. Like the actor and the stunt worker know exactly when like pain is being experienced, when recoil is, and what will actually hurt this person.
Yes.
So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, keep in mind, stunt fights are not actual fights; they're dances, and there is just as much acting and like consideration with camera work that goes into it.
Yeah. And not just shaky cam. I hate that shit.
Yeah. It's not a freaking fight at a high school playground recorded by a 10-year-old. So apparently that's because when people's adrenaline gets going, they get really unsteady.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Well, not at a school fight. Yeah, maybe at a school fight they should just carry around like these like complicated like TV work. If the cameraman and Maury can chase down a running like a freaking white girl running from her parentage, I think a 10-year-old, 15-year-old can hold a camera still for 10 seconds.
I tell you, there is no.
What?
Who made what?
Yeah.
God,
Oh, what? That reminds me of a skit. I think it's a skit. So it's like the Olympics or something. It's the guy running down the way, and there's the camera guy running like adjacent to him, like following the lead guy, and you see the lead guy go turns to him, and he keeps running faster. The guy keeps running faster than him, and the camera guy just takes off ahead of him and just finishes. Yeah. Cameramen, they're also the unsung heroes of movies and film.
indeed, yeah. Guys, do you remember like when I was like little,
Yeah.
I remember I used to catch glimpses of like Jerry Springer, and back when that was back when it was like even a little bit of talk show. Like they had chairs and people would like sit down, and then maybe like 5 or 10 minutes in, that's when people would start fighting.
Yeah.
And then I watched it a few years ago, and like they don't even have chairs anymore. They just like had the people out there with 6 or 7, beefy security guys,
Yeah.
and they just come out fighting like instantly.
Or I'm pregnant with my husband's daughter, but the thing is, I'm a man. All right, let's bring out Jim Bob. Come on out here.
And
So,
Jim Bob's already got boxing gloves on.
what? He's what? He's black? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you watch PBS Kids like a normal person?
Cyber Chase.
You're right.
Sabumafu. Freaking slaps. But
Yeah.
this is not the episode where we rehash that lovely little corner of history.
Okay. All right. Let's get back to. Okay. Let's figure out something to wrap up on with the stunt stuff, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll talk about some of the news. Okay. First of all, we mentioned that stunt people don't get enough love or recognition, so I'm going to name off a few of my favorite stunt people that I think you guys should check out.
Yeah.
First of all, Maylene Nig. She's been in Wonder Woman as an Amazon, and she's going to be in the new Suicide Squad movie as Mongal. So check her out.
Who's Mongel and
In DC Comics.
yeah.
So, okay, here we go. So there's this guy called Mongol in.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got you.
He's
All you
basically
need to say is
he's basically a space warlord, and then Mongal is his sister.
so basically Mongol is like Eddie Beefcake from villain Beefcake.
Yeah, he's like he's kind of like
Darkseid.
MCU Thanos.
Well, I thought MCU Thanos or DC Thanos would just be Darkseid.
Darkseid is way more powerful than MCU. Like comics Thanos is ridiculously overpowered. MCU Thanos is more like what Mongol would be.
But the thing is, Thanos is only overpowered if he has the Infinity Gauntlet.
All right, well this is for another episode.
This is for another episode.
But yeah, but to put a little bow on that, basically in the comics, like Thanos and the Blackguard are like I get so annoyed how like unbeatably powerful they are. They're so fuck all powerful that like it doesn't make sense for the story for me at this point.
Who's the
Thanos.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Maylene Yig, Chloe Bruce, who plays. She was a stunt double for Daisy Ridley in Star Wars, and she stunt doubled for Zoe Saldana in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Why did Ray need a stunt double? She didn't do anything.
Yeah, right. She had she had the backflips, the kicks, the lightsaber, and staff fight scenes.
So what? She could win.
And Chloe Bruce is a martial arts champion too, so she's got ridiculous kicking abilities. She can like do full on like 180 split, just standing like that. So
I can't even touch my toes. That'd break me.
For the guys, Anthony DeLongis is my favorite sword work guy. So he was on Highlander, he was in the Jet Li movie Fearless, and he taught Harrison Ford bullwhip for Indiana Jones. Yep. And then another guy, one more is Lateef Crowder dos Santos. So he was it. You guys, most recently, he stunt doubled as the Mando.
Mhm.
So whenever there were stunts going on, he was under the Mando suit. And
He was the Mandalorian.
yeah, he's a capoeirista, so he's highly skilled in capoeira, and he does a lot of anytime a movie needs a capoeira guy, he's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all you Tekken fans, he was Eddie Gordo in the Tekken movie.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. Well, let's hear it. Ray Park. That's right. He was a stunt guy who became Darth Maul, and now he's a legend.
He is.
That's right. Yeah. So little fun note. Actually, we'll save it for a Star Wars thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I would like to just touch on actors that do their own stunts now.
Okay.
Tom Holland did almost half of his own stunts, and
Yeah, he does. He did well. Okay, so I like watched the interview. So basically, he wanted he and his parents really wanted him to be in a play on Broadway. I forget which one it was. It required a lot of dancing. So first of all, he trained in dancing a lot, and to be better at dancing, he trained in gymnastics, and then he also does like free running and parkour and shit.
What if he got the part of Spider-Man on Broadway? That catastrophe.
Then he wouldn't be with us right now.
That's another episode. Catastrophes of Broadway.
But those guys, so like those guys are stunt. Those are the people you don't think of. The people who do like plays and stuff. And those guys got really hurt doing that play.
Yeah, but we could do a whole episode on that another day. But Mila Jovovich actually does a lot of her own stunts.
Good for her.
Yeah. We could just do a whole episode on just Mila Jovovich movies, honestly, at this point.
Resident Evil.
That's it. That's it.
She was in Three Musketeers, but we don't talk about that.
That didn't happen. And I forget his name, unfortunately. We saw him in DC for your parkour jam.
Sebastian Faucon.
So Pastor Faucon. He was you might know him as the first guy, the parkour guy in James Bond Casino Royale.
Yep. He that was what got me first into parkour when I was younger.
Yeah, he did his own stunts on that, and and he's technically an actor because he was took a main part in a movie.
Yeah. So he's had a few acting credits to his name, but yeah, he's a really nice guy. I really enjoyed meeting him.
Yeah, he was really nice. He took all of our questions. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I think I asked him 2 questions. I double dipped on the question and answer session. Yeah. So like let's not like get into it, but like I was recovering from like a pretty serious illness at the time. And so like I was like, at first I didn't want to go to that thing because I was like, I'm still recovering. I was like, holy shit, Sebastian Faucon, I gotta go. And so he's like fielding questions, and we're all sitting around. And I was like, hi there, yeah, what's your what do you do when you're like trying to get back into parkour after like an injury or a sickness? And his answer was basically just like, I don't get sick or injured. I was like, thanks, Seb.
And then his second question was, "Can I have your shirt?"
Yeah,
give it to.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy though. Yeah. I really liked. It was really nice meeting him.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, can I tell this parkour story because it relates a little bit to stunt work? So, like I met this parkour jam in Washington D.C. Learning from the master, and he's like, okay, we're doing these different exercises. All right, we're gonna do follow the leader now. First of all, he's like, parkour is about like being individual, finding your own way, etc. He's like, all right, we're gonna do follow the leader. So I was like doing follow the leader, and we're like jumping over stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm good, I can physically do this. This is my level. And then we jump up on the sledge, and we're like walking on the sledge. It's about 4 or 5 feet high on one side, and I look over on the other side. It's about a 20-foot drop to a steel grate at the bottom. And I'm like, okay, I'm into parkour, but I just followed basically a stranger up onto a ledge because he said parkour is about individualism.
Yeah. So if anyone asks, like, if any one of us would drink the Kool-Aid, it would be Jimmy.
Yeah. So
all he needs is somebody that's moderately famous and knows parkour. And
exactly.
Then, yeah.
So I'm up. So I was like, oh god, I'm gonna fall. But then I had a little like, I was like, I'm one with the force. The force is with me. And I made it across the thing, but I was like, I've learned my
Yeah.
lesson. Like, don't follow a person up onto a ledge just because they were in James
Don't
Bond.
follow anybody on a ledge, please.
Yeah.
That actually kind of reminds me, because my brother and I used to do like warrior dashes and Spartan races, and that's actually has some stunt, work with that, and I am looking forward to doing that again.
It's not Hollywood stunt
It's
work.
not Hollywood, but jumping over, yeah,
Yeah.
but you pay for it. It's
Oh
fun.
God,
Yeah.
God, they're
Yeah.
expensive. I
We want you to join the military for only $59 a week. You can be in the U.S. Army.
I'm thinking about starting like, historical fencing and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I want to do tournaments, but I'm not paying all that money just to go to a tournament. I was like, I've paid so much money just to do a mud run before. Like,
Yeah.
what are my standards?
Honestly, fun things cost a lot of money, and I hate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. Go check. It's a shame that costs you like so much money to do
Yeah.
stuff because one of the things that I, as an adult, that really keeps me going, like my brain's just wired like this, is like finding things to physically do and compete in. That's why I still like doing karate and stuff, even though karate is like 90% children and then like 10% people who are over 50, and then there's me
Yeah.
and like three other people. Uh, yeah, there's
You 5-year-old with the pigtails, you're mine, brother.
yeah. So that's a shame. So
Yeah.
all right. So why don't we wrap up the stunt part
Yeah.
because we want to talk about some new stuff. But check out people who, first of all, stunt actors on Instagram
Mhm.
are the best.
Yeah.
They're yeah. So check them out. It's not like one of those things where like, okay, yeah, donate, but like, if you're watching a movie and you see stunt work that you like I always like to see like if I recognize any names in the stunt work people, and follow their work, and because they do deserve a lot of recognition for what they do.
really
So
do.
so much respect.
So I actually have one more thing I want to touch on.
Sure.
I don't know if this is a real thing or not. I just feel like it is. But in shows, is there like a trope where the guys do stunt work? Like they sign up for like stunt boot camp or try to become stuntmen? Because I feel like that's a trope, but I have no evidence of it.
The only thing that I know of is a Bob's Burgers episode,
Yeah.
where he and Teddy sign up for a like stunt fitness program. So then they go to a stunt fitness camp.
Right. I that was the only one I could find too. But I feel like it's like, kind of like a jumping the shark thing. It's like it's in a lot of other shows. I just can't find them. Yeah.
Nah.
Is it anime? Yeah.
Oh. Mhm.
Mm. Yeah. Mm. Right.
Right. Mhm. Oh yeah. 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 If you want to check this out, I would highly recommend so there's the movie Tekken from like 2008 or something. I don't know.
Not a very good movie.
Not a
but...
great, not a great movie. Some really good stunt work and fight scenes though.
Yeah.
But if you get the DVD, there's a behind the scenes footage of the stunt guys, and so one of these guys is what's his name? I think it's Damian Walter. I'm gonna look it up. So, but basically they walk through the process that they would do to set up these fight scenes. What's the guy's name?
District Attorney.
Jeez, stupid Google. Come on. What
are you doing?
I have no idea.
Anyway, so
my point is basically the stunt. It shows the stunt team behind the scenes, and it shows them like fighting up, setting up these fight scenes and like the various steps that they would go through to be like, okay, when we get a fight together, we start like feeling like very robotic and stuff, so that we get the moves down, and then we do like very loose, and then after we practiced all of these a bunch of times, then we practice at full speed with full intensity, and we're able to make it look really, really good. So it does have a lot of steps and a lot of tricks that they use. And it, like I said, it's a dance. Like you have to memorize all these like different moves and steps and stuff and be in your spot. Yeah.
And your partner needs to like know as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get hurt.
All right.
But let's move on to the news. Or the current events, or what's going on in the nerdosphere.
Welcome to the nerdosphere.
Hello,
welcome to the nerdosphere. It is currently 9:30 Eastern time. Jarrett, what have you got for us?
It's snowing outside, and I can't stop peeing.
Okay.
Put down your mic. Nerds, we don't have sports here. Yes. I'm blaming Cheddar. This is your fault. But the biggest one is, especially in the internet today, is that WandaVision dropped finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean to watch that.
Yeah, and of course, that along with that, the reviews are doing pretty good.
It looks very meta.
Yeah. This is the second TV show to air on Disney Plus.
Like
an exclusive Disney Plus.
Okay, Disney. Yeah, Disney
like
Plus original.
They've had other shows and stuff on Disney Plus, but this is the one the air.
Right. Plus. First one, like there was Mando, and then
that's something hard to show up to follow up on.
But they've got that freaking Marvel, Star Wars, Disney pile of cash to draw from.
Yeah.
They just opened Scrooge McDuck's vault and are like, I want this much for my budget, and they're like, okay, we got it because we're freaking Disney.
But I do have a question.
Okay.
So, Vision is technically back. We don't know. I'm not spoiling anything. I haven't seen it yet. Essentially, he's back.
But there is definitely a Paul Bettany presence in this show. Yeah.
So, are they going to be able to bring him back into the Marvel universe? Is it going to be revived? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Okay.
Yeah. So this is this is where so in the comics, Scarlet Witch's powers are actually reality manipulation. So her powers, she's a mutant. In the comics, she's Magneto's daughter, Mora. They couldn't use Magneto or the Scarlet Witch or the mutants in MCU because they didn't have the rights to the name.
Yeah, so she just became an anomaly created by the Scepter.
Yeah, so exactly. And her powers are like telekinesis and telepathy to a limited extent. Mm-hmm. She's more like a Jean Grey than Scarlet Witch in the comics. So, but in the comics, Scarlet Witch's power is to manipulate reality, and it looks like magic, basically.
Maybe now that she's like she's having to deal with like actual like sorrow and depression. Now that her rest of her powers are unlocking, and that is or maybe creating this new world.
So in the there is if you guys ever get into it, there's a comic series called The House of M, where basically what happens is, I'm pretty sure it's because Vision dies, Scarlet Witch has a mental breakdown, her powers go nuts, and she alters reality, like all over the world. She basically what happens is that everyone gets their deepest desire, so mutants rule the world, etc. So I'm gonna guess that they're gonna be drawing off that for this show. I think that they're gonna bring back Vision because of reality manipulation, and it's gonna be permanent.
See, I do like a lot of the Marvel movies, but I do think they have a very big issue with killing off characters.
True.
You know,
just the villains though, apparently.
Yeah, if you're villains die like that.
They're like stormtroopers. If you're a stormtrooper or a Marvel villain, they don't care.
It's like getting eternal sickness, you know?
Yeah.
So like obviously like with the snap and everything, you kind of knew certain people were coming back, but like Nick Fury died like twice.
Yeah,
comes back.
He did die twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he died twice.
And technically Steve Rogers died once at least because he was...
And but he's old, which he should have just died. And then they just kind of keep bringing people back. They kind of just they know they can make more money off of this character, so they don't kill him off permanently, and they just bring him back.
Yeah, but make more money off the character. Yeah, but Vision wasn't like a top tier MCU moneymaker.
Yeah, neither really was Scarlet Witch, but they were. But they're interesting enough.
Yeah, that's why. Honestly, what? I take it all back. I'm interested in this because Marvel makes, a freaking truckload of money off of on every Iron Man and Thor movie that comes out. Excuse me. And
no more Iron Man though.
But I'd like to see, now I'm thinking about it, I'm interested in seeing more like lower tier characters like fleshing their story out more.
Yeah.
Because that's what the show. Yeah. Yeah, because what we saw with Mandalorian is, we've got these freaking, big old movies and they suck, but the shows are great because you're able to look at like the lower tier characters and they flesh out the story more.
Well, the new Marvel movie that's coming out, with the Jay Leto, the Morbius. Yeah, we're gonna see the Scorpion and the Vulture more. Those are two characters that are interesting.
Is that confirmed to be part of the MCU though?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So Sony finally got over itself.
Yep.
It was like, we're hopping on that money train.
Morbius.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing the Scorpion, definitely.
Yeah. But we'll see. But the newest movie coming out that also dropped on a streaming platform, Wonder Woman, 1984.
Yeah.
Thoughts, concerns,
questions. Question.
Yeah.
So, at the start of the review embargo or whatever it's called, basically like they show it to a few people and they give them the reviews. It was 97%, and then it dropped down to 60%. What the F?
Everybody.
Well, it's an audience score after that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? So, is it?
You're lagging. You're lagging in real life.
Yeah. So Matthew, also, I love your pants, by the way. They're nice and like red. They pop. It's like the bottom half, like the bottom half of like a Santa Claus outfit. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for not.
Yeah, like the entire time we're just trying to like look about the. Yeah, Matt. When you worked from home for too long.
Matt, would you cross your legs, please?
So what I believe most of the audience audience's score is negative for is it's just the story, which is kind of what the original the first Wonder Woman kind of had. The story and the characters just they weren't there. It's confusing, it's weird, it doesn't fit well. I don't know if you guys okay, so I bet you guys want me to spoil it a little bit for you?
I know. So I know. I'll tell you what I know first, and if you know more than this, then don't tell me, because I intend to watch it so I can get a full freaking grasp on this thing.
Yeah.
So I know that it's got Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. He comes up with a way to grant people's wishes. That's how we get Chris Pine back.
Yeah.
And that's how and it's be careful what you wish story, basically.
Yeah. So hashtag spoiler. If you don't want any spoilers for Wonder Woman 1984, give us a Mutarino. So essentially it's like a monkey paw kind of thing. You know, give a little, get a little. And basically Chris Pine doesn't come back. He basically embodies this random stranger. Like he's still physically this random stranger, but his like mind and soul is in it.
He Professor X's himself.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, people brought up the fact, like, oh my god, like this entire person's just been like snuffed out of existence for a time, and
he
then
got
like
snapped.
they use his like body, like she has sex with him.
She sleeps with a meat puppet, basically.
Yeah, basically, and people were like, that doesn't really make sense, and yeah, it just wasn't there, honestly, and the message was kind of weird too. It was. I think they were trying to go for like, from what I understand, is they were going for like a, a commentary on the America in the 1980s. You know, the greed is good, era.
Like, yeah, everyone wants to get what they want at whatever cost, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But they just didn't really put that was too like, non-corporate. Like DC has that issue. They just don't know how to like let a story be a story and let somebody like actually do what they want.
They've got major Marvel envy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking at
spoiled it for Matthew.
Spoiled it.
I got to be honest with you, you're not really missing anything.
Yeah. Batman versus Superman was the best one to come out of it, honestly.
Yeah, the extended edition though, but you have to watch that. This should be a whole new episode as well. We're going over a lot of episodes we should have, but like if a movie's about 3 hours to be good, it's not a good movie.
Right, unless we're in a pandemic. We've got time.
Yeah. But the first Wonder Woman, if World War I is involved in any movie, I'm gonna watch it no matter what. So like they didn't need Ares in that movie at all.
Yeah.
Like,
or they could have like made, I'm like rewriting it in my head. They could have had Ares, but like basically instead of like being an actual thing she fights, like he's literally just like, in that movie, he spoiler for Matt.
Spoiler.
Basically, he's kind of a semi-ghost, like making things happen.
Yeah.
Like he never actually comes out of the shadows. He just like stays in the shadows the entire time.
Well, so my rewrite would be this. Are you ready for this? I'm about to get your extra socks ready. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm about to blow them off.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the story is that Ares was, being a dick. He killed all the other gods, which is, I don't even know how you do that. So, and then now he's on Earth, making war. So my rewrite would just be like Ares there, but at the end, and she beats Ares, and it's like, stop this war. And he's like, I didn't do anything. I was banished here. I don't have any powers. I'm just immortal, and I'm just a dude. And these guys did this all on their own.
Twist.
Yeah. And then
right, because like she's obsessed with finding Ares the whole time, and she finds Ares and he's like, I didn't do anything. Like you guys, you want to blame me? Like you guys don't have anybody to blame but yourselves for this.
Yeah, because and like there's a big moment where she like kills like the guy she thinks is Ares, and like the war's like still continuing because it's a war. It's not, and Ares comes out and he's like, yeah, I did all this. No, it should be like, hey, I'm just the dude now. I don't have any powers. I could kind of I could like teleport kind of, but I can't do anything. This is what mankind does. But if she sticks to her like morals and like, hey, peace will, there is war, but peace is always follows. They would have been better.
I wonder if they had a story like that, but then the studio was just like, we need a big fight scene at the end.
Yeah, it actually is. That's why a lot of our the bad guys at the end of movies are big gray monsters.
Really?
Yeah. The Juggernaut thing from
Deadpool.
Thor.
Oh, Thor, yeah.
Deadpool as well with a big gray monster. Doomsday.
Well, yeah.
Ares again. The Rhino.
Yeah.
Big gray yeah. But also that brings up another point because along with the Captain America thing, Wonder Woman was in this world, stops World War, at the end of World War One, stays there, right?
Yeah.
And just does nothing for World War Two.
Okay. Yeah, true. Or maybe there's a little allusion to it in the new movie that we haven't seen yet? Question mark.
Probably not. That's because then you have the whole Nazi thing, so you can't bring that up in a movie. Yeah.
Jared, apparently your rewrite just blew Cheddar's mind.
I'm the best. This is what I do. I actually work for the sock companies because every time I blow someone's socks off, they got to get a new pair there. Oof. Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Yeah. But also, like, in 1984, the Cold War is like at its peak, and Wonder Woman's like, hey, the nuclear apocalypse within maybe the next day. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna be an architect.
Bay of Pigs. I'm gonna sit this one out.
But that's also like with freaking Captain America. Like he's like, his whole thing is that he can't stop being Captain America. 9/11 happens. Okay.
Wait,
Hydra happens.
Oh, I for a second I was like, well, he was in an ice coma. I was like, oh wait, old.
Yeah, and then like Peggy Carter. I can't wait to like continue working with Shield. Emma Zola is like doing a really good job, and Captain America's like, yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah. Yeah. Chilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I was just thinking, like, then Captain America has to go through Peggy Carter's death a second time.
What if this was so like we have to assume that he was there all the time. What if he was actually like trying to help, but he couldn't?
But that's
like what if he fucking butterfly affected the whole thing and he was like trying to prevent these things from happening, but then he accidentally made it happen.
Okay, so first and foremost, we know for a fact that creating different timelines, correct?
Yeah.
Because of things that aren't supposed to be there.
Multiverse,
Captain America is not supposed to be there. Maybe the whole fact of him existing in this timeline is the reason all of these things happen.
Right.
Because he's being a selfish prick.
Our timeline only happened because he was there. Okay. All right. Back to
no. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Okay. So. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm excited for that. That's got Joe Taslim in it playing Sub-Zero, and he's in like my favorite show right now, Warrior. He plays he's a kung fu master in that show. He's a great martial artist. So I want to check this movie out.
That's gonna be another stunt episode that we can do.
Hell yeah. I got that on my list of movies to look out for in the next year that have tons of stunts in them.
Yeah, I just hope so. King Kong and Godzilla, two huge money makers, right? What if
ostensibly?
So what I don't want to see is the battle is about 15 minutes and nothing happens.
I mean, so a movie that's called Kong, like Godzilla versus versus Kong, yeah, right. I don't think that they're gonna skimp on the fight scenes. Like if we went to cat, like we would, you saw Cats and it was a terrible movie, but there were no cats in it. Like that'd be a different thing altogether.
We could all agree that the world was never the same after Cats came out. There was just that was it.
Against Godzilla.
Godzilla is about 400 stories tall. 400 story.
40-ish.
He's bigger than a sky. He's about as big as.
So in the little clip from the trailer, he looks like he's taller than Godzilla by the time Godzilla versus Kong takes place.
King Kong would have to at least triple in size, and from when he was alive in the 70s. So in about 40 years, he triples in size.
Right.
So that doesn't. But King Kong doesn't feed off of radiation. Godzilla does.
So this is an actually moment.
Okay.
In the original Godzilla versus King Kong, the Toho version, the back in the day, their version of King Kong had the ability to absorb and expel electricity. He was basically Electro. So if they give him some weird out of left field bullshit like that, then yeah, I can see him having a chance.
It's a giant ape. They can give him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Basically. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe he gets energy from. What'd you say, Matt? Go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Right. On the other part, yeah, that was like one of the first things that we did. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes full circle because nobody's had an original idea in about 30 years.
So that's one of my favorite lines from Adventure Time, the Wizarding episode, where he goes, "Hey kid, you want a demon heart? Yeah, full circle."
Full circle.
Yeah.
All right. I think that we're. Yeah, I think we're getting close. Does anyone have one more news story that's coming out?
Bad Batch. I cannot wait.
Oh hell yeah.
Do you think because I'm just gonna say this, they don't have inhibitor chips because they were deemed a bad clone, so they didn't put the inhibitor chip inside.
Exactly. Or yeah. Yeah, or maybe it's one of those things where the inhibitor chip only works for the perfect clone brain.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I can't wait for Star Wars to make me feel deep adult emotions again.
I still have to watch all of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff to go through.
Yeah, we gotta watch. I still gotta watch Clone Wars soup to nuts. Just skip over it. Yeah. I still gotta watch Rebels soup to nuts. I know all the big parts, but I haven't dissected the minutia yet.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta watch them close the story arc of Darth Maul, of course. I haven't watched Rebels, but I've seen the fight scene between him and Obi-Wan Kenobi at the very end, and that gets me every single time. That's my favorite Star Wars moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeesh. All right. Well, one more shout out to stunt workers and stunt actors.
Yeah.
Your work, we love you. Your work is appreciated. Please keep up the good work.
You stunted right into our hearts.
You stunted right into our hearts, bro. All right. Well, from Area Nerdy One this week, this has been Jimmy.
This has been Jarrett.
You're gonna delete all that, right?
We were filming. Wait, really?